please like and comment on the video below. That will allow me to produce better quality videos and more of them in the future. So this weekend marks the Epsom Derby meeting, or Derby if you're American, so it's definitely Derby. Learn how to pronounce it correctly, please. Thank you very much. And it's one of the biggest race meetings of the year. And when you look at the amount of prize money that's available, that's no surprise. And therefore, the Friday and the Saturday this weekend will be dominated by the Oaks and the Derby. Now, over the years, I've done all right at the Derby. There have been occasions when I've done spectacularly well, but the problem you have is if you've been trading for any period of time, trying to hit a new record is very hard. So, you know, you try and reach there, but a lot of the result depends upon how things pan out. But generally, the Derby meeting is a pretty good meeting, and it trades well on BetDAC, it trades well on Betfair, and in fact if you look at BetDAC last year, it was pretty positive. So I'm looking for a repeat performance this year. And I must admit, I always like the big race meetings simply because of the amount of volume that they do. So, you know, the Derby is obviously a highlight in June, and then there's a gap, and then we go into Royal Ascot. So there is so much to look forward to, and it's that time of the year when there's so much going on. I'm juggling so many things at the moment, it's difficult to keep on top of it. But this is the season where you make hay while the sun shines. Many opportunities, so you just push the boat out a bit, you work really hard, and hopefully you can pick up some really good results. So it's that time of year, it's the time of year to get really focused. But also the Derby and the Oaks ushers in another year for Betfair. So Betfair's first ever market was the Oaks. And you know, it's amazing to see how things have grown and pushed forward from there. Probably what I may do is do a little thing about the Oaks and Betfair's inauguration, as it were, in another video, rather than pollute this video. But the Derby is such an important race, you know, it's worth getting a bit of focus in. Now I know that some of you aren't keen on the bigger races, and the Derby is massive. And in fact, you know, we should whack up a graph that shows you that. So I will put a graph up over here to show you the Derby turnover over a number of years. Now the problem that I had last year was it was quite low in comparison. It was the lowest since 2010. So it was the smallest amount of turnover for 6 years, which was a surprise because the favourite was sort of slightly shorter than in previous years. And so I was a bit disappointed by that. But overall, the Oaks and the Derby meeting will turn over somewhere between 20 and 30 million. So time for another graph. I'm sure that will pop up just over here. And you know, it's a meeting that's worth a lot of focus. It will drown out some of the other activity in and around it. But it's good prep for Royal Ascot. There's nothing like Royal Ascot. You know, this isn't going to be a Royal Ascot meeting. But nonetheless, there's so much focus that goes into it. There'll be a lot of advertising, a lot of activity in the market. It's certainly one of those weekends where I put a huge amount of focus into it to see what I can get out of it. And you know, it's a key weekend, so put some focus into it, see if you can do a little bit extra at Epsom and pull out a big result from either the Oaks or the Derby. It tends to trade fairly competitively, so the traded range tends to be a little bit narrower. You can get these moments where the market gets a bit overstuffed with money. And you know, the only reason I like these big meetings is simply because I can put a lot of money through it, but sometimes there's just too much in the market. I've got an example which I can put up which shows you how that sort of manifests itself. And your solution to those sort of problems is to read through them. Some people don't like these markets and, you know, will just avoid them, but maybe the thing you should do is look at another runner or try and understand what's going on in general in the market rather than just focusing on the money that's trying to hold up the current price. Anyhow, I'm going to give it a big bash. I think you should too, and I hope it's a good one for you.